Hey everyone, Adam and Brian back again. So as you know, in the first video that we sent you, we quickly went over who we were. Two normal investors from Connecticut. Dealing with your typical single-family wholesales, rehabs, multifamily properties, and we also told you our idea, or I should say Brian's idea. I don't want to take credit where credit is due. Brian's idea of how to close basically any size transaction with other people's money. And we also told you, it's not your typical OPM that you know about in terms of seller financing or private lending or transactional lenders. None of that stuff, right? There's no points, no interest, no credit checks, no applications, right? None of that stuff exists with the Ultimate Funding Blueprint, all right? So we told you that. And we wanted to just to let everybody know that this works in all different types of spaces in the real estate arena, right? If you're doing single families, this is for you. If you're doing multifamily, this is for you. If you're doing apartment buildings, this is for you. If you're doing other commercial space, retail space, this is for you. If you're doing single family bulk portfolio packages, tenanted or REOs, doesn't matter. This works for all of that. And the cool thing is that, me and Brian, like I told you in the first video, we're normal investors. We didn't take a 6-month seminar to figure this stuff out. No. And without having to do any further seminars or training or coaching, we went from looking at $100,000 deals in our backyard to looking at and structuring, a $45 million deal in a matter of, it was 2 weeks. It was a couple months after we figured out how to use the blueprint. We went to talking to bank presidents, to hedge funds, to family offices. I mean, Brian spent 6 months on the phone on a deal, a Beverly Hills deal, talking with a family office. I mean, it's crazy the opportunity and the doors that were opened once we started implementing this idea in our business. And the same goes for you. I mean, this is absolutely possible for anybody watching this video. And we're living proof because, I don't consider myself a guru, I'm just a normal investor.
Average guys.
So that being said, I know that's sort of a lot to take in, but Brian is actually going to go through a couple different transactions and show you exactly how a smaller transaction can get structured and how a larger transaction can get structured. So we'll get into that right now.
Okay, guys, like I explained, I'm going to show you in this little clip here a small transaction and a large transaction. Now, they are going to be pretty similar. The numbers are the numbers on these. I'm just going to kind of show you visually that it works on small little flips and much larger deals. Now, deals are all structured in different ways. Okay, not every time are you going to walk up, and it's not wholesalers just watching this video. It's not just fix and flippers. It's not just brokers or IMs. It's real estate investors in general. You may be a wholesaler, but you want to be able to do other things like a fix and flip for the first time, and you may be able to want to do other things using this program, and it does work. Okay, it's all how you look at it. This one Ultimate Funding Blueprint is literally going to work across the board. Okay, so it's not one little niche or one little part of the real estate investing, or you need one thing or the other. So, with that being said, we're going to start with a very simple fix and flip, wholesale that you're going to sell as a fix and flip to an investor. Okay, so let's just say you find a house and the house is listed at $50,000. Okay, the house is listed at $50,000. You get it under contract and they require a proof of funds. Now, you already have a buyer in place, right? You know who that buyer is, or you may not know yet, but most of the time you know who your buyer is, right? So you have a buyer in place, and what you want to do is you want to take that house, get it under contract, and sell it to your investor. Now, let's just say it's a quick close, all right? You know how everyone, 7-day close, 3-day close. We've all seen it, heard it. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. it all depends on, it also depends on what part of the country you're in. We all know, where most of us know, in certain markets, it's a lot easier than others. So I'm trying to be as general as possible just to show you how the blueprint will work. So you have $50,000 deal, and you're going to sell that to your investor for $75,000. Okay, so you bought it, right? Here's the this is the contract number. Okay, contract. Please excuse my writing. All right, it's a little messy, but I'm trying to do this on this whiteboard thing here. So $75,000 is what you're going to wholesale it for, right? So we're just going to put wholesale here, just to make it easy. All right, wholesale $75,000. So you have a potential profit of $25,000, right? This is profit. We'll call it PP for potential profit. So you have $25,000 of potential profit in the deal. Now, where the ultimate funding blueprint comes in is right here. Okay, in the middle of the transaction. I'll put a double line here. This is the ultimate funding blueprint. Okay. That's where this comes in. So what you're going to use is, in between this, you're going to have a contract with the buyer for $75,000. And you're going to use the buyer's funds to purchase that contract at $50,000. This is where it allows you, you're going in as the buyer. Okay, you're going in and you're buying that property at $50,000. You're not going in and assigning the contract. Okay, that works in some cases it doesn't. In smaller contracts like this, you have that option. Okay, that where sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But when it doesn't work and the deal's really good, you're losing money. So why would you do that? This is where the ultimate funding blueprint comes in. There's no uncomfortable conversation with the owner of the property that you're trying to purchase. There's no uncomfortable conversation or trying to explain to them who you are, how you work, what a wholesale is. All that goes away. You're the buyer. Now you have the seller. With the ultimate funding blueprint, it allows you to enter into the contract to buy the property for the $50,000, right, that you said you would, and it allows you to automatically sell it to the buyer right here, or to your buyer for $75,000, which gives you a $25,000 profit, right? That's your potential profit right there. Now, I know some people are saying, oh, well, you have transactional funding you can do. Yeah, well, transactional funding, okay? Transactional funding is a cost, 2 to 6%, right? Isn't that transactional funding? A little transactional funding. That's where this will save you money. I mean, yes, 2 to 6% isn't a lot of money, but it's still profit, right? You don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need that. Okay? You don't need that. You don't even need to pay for a double close. Most don't do double close. If you can find someone to do a double close, that's few and far between. Okay? But those double closes are very, very rare in this situation on the smaller deals. Okay? On the larger deals, it's not even something to bring up. You won't even get a phone call if that's the case. So let me go to another deal here. This is where we're going to go to another transaction, and I'm going to show you a larger transaction. Hold on one second here, and let me let me see if I can do this. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the transaction. How this can work for a large transaction. All right, now here's how it goes. We are going to look at, you have 100, let's just say it's 150 REOs, right? We get a lot of questions about REOs. So you have 150 REOs at 60 cents or, 65 cents. We were buying them for much less than that. But let's say 60 cents, right? 60 cents on the dollar. Oh, geez, that's awful. Sorry about that. Let's just erase all that there, okay? Let's do this. 60 cents, right, on the dollar. So you're getting them for 60 cents on the dollar. 40% return. So you're getting these, I'm just going to use round numbers, all right? You're going to get 150 single-family REOs for 60 cents in the dollar. Let's just use, 5 million, right? 5 million. And that's what you're going to buy them for. The ARVs are, let's say, 7.5, okay? So that's $7.5 million for 150 REOs, right? Great deal. Who would not want to make, okay? Who would not want to make a lot of money on these? Now, when you're selling them when you're buying them at 5 million, at 60 cents in the dollar, you can sell them for 65 or 70 cents in the dollar. It's still a great deal. 65 would be better. Depending on how much money you want to make. But let's just say, just for numbers here, okay, I'm just giving you an example. I'm not doing actual numbers. But let's say you have a potential profit. You're buying them at 5, and you want to sell them, right? So okay, let me do this here. Let me make that a little bit smaller, bring this down here, all right? So you got 150 REOs, 60 cents in the dollar. We're going to go up here, and you're going to use your profit. So you want to buy, right? So you're buying 5 million, right? This is the buy number. Oof, that's messy. Buy number, right? And you want to add into that, let's say, 550,000, right? That's your PP, potential profit, not the other one. All right. So now, how do you work this deal? First of all, you got to get on the phone with these REOs, with the bank, with the asset managers, with the bank, the bank president, vice presidents, and smaller banks. Larger banks, you're not getting a vice president, you're getting an asset manager, but you're getting a real asset manager, someone that you can talk to, someone where you're not getting their title is asset manager on their email, but they're really not an asset manager. This is going to open that door to the real asset manager. And when you deal with these kinds of people, you're going to know it because they're a completely different animal. Okay? So they want to know that you're the buyer. You have to talk like you have the money. The Ultimate Funding Blueprint opens that door. Okay? The UFB opens the door. If you don't have that confidence behind you, you're not going to get to these 150 REOs. Okay? You're not going to get there. You're not even going to get that taper list. Because if you get it from an IM or somebody else involved right now, it's a daisy chain, okay? You want to be that person. And for you IMs out here and brokers and different agents, act as the buyer. Don't be the IM. You do the same amount of work, but you're the buyer. Okay, you open that door, you build that relationship, you get your guaranteed lists. That's how this works. You go on LinkedIn, you friend some of these people, or excuse me, not friend, that's Facebook. You send a connection to them, and you connect. You build a relationship. This Ultimate Funding Blueprint is not, liquid gold for you guys. It's not going to create relationships. You still need to talk. You still need to present yourself, but you're presenting yourself as the buyer. That is a completely different animal. This opened up so many doors for us. It's been unreal. So with the Ultimate Funding Blueprint, you're going to have that door open to those 150 REOs, no matter where they're coming from, a servicing company, a bank, wherever it might be. Okay? So what it's going to do is you cannot double close in these situations. You cannot double close from a bank. You bring up double close, they hang up the phone. Okay, you bring up transactional funding, they hang up the phone. Okay, I mean, that's not in every situation. I'm not going to tell you that, but they want to deal with professionals. They want to deal with the money people. They don't want to deal with somebody who they think is going to try to turn around and sell them to somebody else. Well, you know what? They shouldn't care what you're doing with it. Unfortunately, they do. This is why the Ultimate Funding Blueprint comes into play. Okay? Now, at $5 million, you're going to buy them. You want to sell them for a profit of $550,000. The Ultimate Funding Blueprint comes in, and you use the buyer. You use our system as the buyer. okay, Ultimate Funding Blueprint makes you the buyer. And it is like a double close. It is like using other people's money to purchase. Well, it is other people's money you're using. But it's the way that this entire program is written. Program, it's not a program. It's a completely walks you through and all of the proper pieces of paperwork that you need in order for this to happen. Okay? Time tested, lots of time with attorneys. So this has gone through. Your profit, your potential profit on this deal, if it's done correctly and gets done at those numbers, using my hypothetical numbers, your profit is $550,000. And you know what you just did? You just basically wholesaled 150 properties at one time. One time. You did it at one time, right? You did this all at one time. So 150 properties at one time. And you see all these gurus on the internet saying, oh, you can do 10 to 20 houses a month. Well, guess what? That's what you're looking at. It's a one-shot deal. It's one tape. It's 150 properties. You can do that in 2 weeks or less. The deals are out there, guys, and girls and women and everybody else. The deals are there, okay? I didn't believe it, but they're there. You got to look for them. You got to find them. And you know how you find them? You build relationships. You build connections. All right? So there is two different ways, a very small transaction and a large one. Very, very basic. I don't know how much more I need to show you guys on how this would work, except for you guys to get it and see how it works. That's it. All right? I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.
Okay, guys, listen, I hope that you were able to follow me while I was going through both the small transaction and the large transaction. I did these pretty simple. I didn't want to get too technical on it, but it doesn't matter how technical the deal is. The Ultimate Funding Blueprint, it works no matter how easy the deal is or how hard it is. I mean, it really doesn't matter how you use this. It works for everything. So hopefully you guys understood what I was talking about, how I was walking through each deal. You know, if you have any questions, you know, let us know. Send us some of your feedback on it. Ask the questions you need to ask. You know, we'll get back to you either in a video or we'll respond via email, whichever we think is going to be most effective. If there's a lot of questions about the same thing, you know, we'll figure out how to handle that.
Sure. So yeah, I hope you guys took some value out of this. You know, definitely look out. We're going to send you actually a third video. I know we've already given you a lot of information, and I know it's a lot to take in, but there's more. You know, it gets better, and we have more. You know, we have more information to give you, more stuff to tell you, and you know, definitely don't miss out on video number 3. So we'll see you then.
Bye, guys.